Just an overview of our program and services. We're not going to go too in depth, but at any point, if you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself. If you put anything in the chat, I'll need a little assistance because I cannot see anything other than my slides. So, but yeah, feel free to ask anything while I'm going through this. All right. So, this is our East Michigan APEX Accelerator logo. Each center has their own, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later on. Now, if you are unfamiliar with what APEX Accelerator is, APEX Accelerator is formerly known as PTAC, or Procurement Technical Assistance Center, is a program of record with the Department of Defense, and it is administered by a cooperative agreement through the Department of Defense with a nonprofit or university or a community college. So those two entities come together and they agree to terms, and then you have an APEX Accelerator. And then for our program specifically, match funds are required in order to receive funding. And our match funds come from the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, or the MEDC, right here in Michigan. All right, so here are a few fun facts about APEX accelerators. There are currently 96 APEX accelerators spread out across the United States, all working to foster collaboration and growth in various sectors. This refers to the number of cooperative agreements between universities or nonprofit organizations and then the Department of Defense. So out of that 96, more than 300 local offices are part of this network. Some of these offices are regionally run, and in the state of Michigan, we are one such regional program. This means that one office serves multiple counties, providing more localized support. So for instance, here in Michigan, or in East Michigan, we serve several counties, including Shiawassee, Genesee, Lapeer, Tuscola, Sanilac, Huron, and St. Clair. The state of Michigan has 11 offices in total. So even if you're not located in the 7 counties that I just mentioned, there's likely an office near you. We're happy to connect, you with the right office that serves your area. Or if you're in Michigan, you can always visit Michigan APEX or miapex.org to find the office closest to you. And then we'll provide any links and stuff after this training as well. So this particular slide shows you the 11 offices in Michigan. What you don't see here is that the DoD stood up a program in Dearborn, and they are the 11th office. They should be being added hopefully soon. They are known as the Move America APEX Accelerator in Dearborn, and they serve the city of Dearborn and Dearborn Heights. All right, so we kind of covered who the APEX accelerators are. Now we can kind of get into what we do. So at its core, an APEX accelerator's role is to offer invaluable support to businesses of all sizes, helping them navigate the complexities of government contracting. Originally established as PTAC by Congress in 1985, the program was created to expand the number of businesses capable of participating in government contracts. Today, the APEX Accelerators program continues this mission by strengthening the U.S. supply chain in a sustainable and resilient manner. Our primary goal is to assist a wide range of businesses, whether large or small, that are pursuing or already working under contracts with the Department of Defense, federal agencies, state and local governments, and government prime contractors. In other words, we don't just help businesses secure contracts with major federal agencies. We also guide businesses to connect with contracting opportunities in the state of Michigan, the state of California, the city of Flint, the city of San Antonio, and many other localities. To put it simply, if your business is located in an area represented by one of our APEX accelerators, we're here to help you navigate government contracting opportunities. And it's not limited to just state or local governments. As long as the funds are public, we assist businesses across the entire country in accessing opportunities. This includes contracts with public schools, universities, community colleges, public hospitals, and then a wide range of other public entities. There's often a misconception that we only assist with federal contracts or direct government dealings, but that's not the full picture. We also support businesses exploring subcontracting opportunities. So if you're thinking, I'm still a bit small and not quite ready to compete with the larger players, but I'd like to explore subcontracting, we can help you identify potential partners. We'll also guide you through setting up your supplier profile within the supplier diversity portal and assist you with other necessary steps. Certifications are another important component for prospective subcontractors, and we can help you navigate that process as well. So getting back to my slide for a moment, here's a brief list of the services that we offer, but keep in mind this is just a starting point. It really only scratches the surfaces of what we can provide to our clients. For example, we offer one-on-one counseling, and then because you've attended this training, you will be eligible to meet with one of our counselors to discuss the needs of your business, your goals, and how you see yourself fitting into government contracting. If you're not quite ready, don't worry. We can help you find the right path. We have numerous tools and resources available to assist you with market research, so we can help you identify your best potential customers within the government sector. Many companies come to us wanting to sell to the government and target everyone. But that's not always the best strategy here. While the traditional saying is don't put all your eggs in one basket, government contracting kind of works a little bit differently. The government encompasses federal civilian agencies, the Department of Defense, state governments, local governments, and subcontracting opportunities. And it can seem tempting to target all of those areas. But narrowing your focus is actually or can be a more effective strategy. Um, Doing so allows you to be more tactical and strategic in identifying opportunities that are a good fit for your business, which ultimately increases your chances of success in this space. So, this is where one-on-one counseling really comes into play. During these sessions, we can get into the details of your business, whether you sell products or services, and then discuss how you might fit within the government sector. From there, we can help you narrow your focus, guide you through required registrations and certifications, and assist with competitive strategies. We also offer resources like price history reports, specifications and standards, and training events and seminars, which we host across our territory. We understand that not everyone can make the trip to an in-person event like the one in Flint, um, so we try to offer many events virtually to make it more convenient. Of course, we still hold in-person events such as our Meet the Buyer event, where you can meet with buyers, talk about your services, and learn more about proposal development. Our goal is to bring experts to you, making sure that you have access to the right information. Continuing down the list, we offer bid match services, which allow you to access special bid match resources that would typically cost you money. Through us, it's free. And then additionally, we also assist with market opportunity assessments, solicitation reviews, and proposal and bid preparation. Um, However, there are a few things we do not do. Yes. Question?
You said training event seminars, bid match. So can you tell me about that? You said, so matching bid. Oh, can you tell me what you mean by bid match? And I probably should give you a
Yeah,
little background. I'm looking at the company I work for, seeing if there's an avenue to help them. But I'm also looking on a career path of my own and maybe doing something on my own or as contract work. So I'm here for the company, but I'm also thinking about my future and my career as well. And if there might be another path for me somewhere else.
okay, yeah, absolutely. There
We
is
can,
another slide that will talk a little bit more about the bid match, but it's
mhm.
essentially through us, once you get signed up with our client intake form, you're in our client database, and we can go in and create your bid match profile, which we would use like keywords, key phrases, um, NAICS codes. We'll narrow it down by state, where you're looking for opportunities at, and then you essentially just get an email. I think it's a couple times a week, with bid opportunities, that you're looking for. So it's kind of just an easier way to seek out work, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe we can talk. I don't know. I know you got other people on the call, so we can even talk, after too, because I definitely want to follow up and see what our other opportunities are out there and on both sides. But go ahead.
Yeah, and then after this training, like I said, you'll be eligible for one-on-one counseling, so you can schedule a time with me and we can kind of go over everything. Your goals, what you're looking for. If we have to do some market research, we can do that as well on the call. So yeah, we can
Okay,
definitely sit down
great.
and talk.
And I'm in Oakland County. Does it matter? You guys are in Flint, so how does that matter?
Um, Oakland County. I
I'm in
can't
Ortonville. I'm like right on the border of Genesee.
think. I
You guys are
actually
closer to me than the other one, I'm pretty sure, because the other one I think you are the
I'll
closest.
I'll have to double check. I think that should be okay. I can't remember what office covers that county. But yeah, we can talk after this. We'll
Okay,
we'll
great.
we'll set something up.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Um, okay, so kind of just going over the few things that we don't do. We don't help you write proposals. Um, we essentially just help you like kind of guide you through the process, offer feedback, guidance. Um, and sometimes, people might think that that's not the most valuable thing, because we're not doing the work for you, but it's important that you learn how to do the process too, because if, the more you do it, the easier it gets. And then we also don't tell you what to price your product or service. But that's where the price history reports come in. And we can kind of help you um, make an educated decision on doing that. All right. So, uh, okay. I know I went a little bit all over the place there, but it's all important information. So, kind of getting back on track, why government contracting? Government contracting for a lot of people is a new market. Other new markets to consider would also be exporting. The federal government, as most of you know, is the largest buyer of goods and services in the world, with the DoD being the largest purchaser in the federal government. The federal government spends about $100 billion each year in federal contracts, specifically with small businesses. So there's tons of opportunity here. Contracts exist for almost every item imaginable, and that's from paper clips to armored tanks. Also something to think about when the private market slows, the federal government increases its spending to support the economy. So it's valuable to understand federal contracting in advance, so you're prepared with the necessary registrations and certifications, and then already receiving bid match notifications as well. This way, you can pivot quickly when the private market dips.
Hey, I have another question.
Yes.
In Brooklyn, right?
Yes.
Okay, in this economy, with this administration and with all the cuts, is that still the case?
I think this
About
kind of yeah, I think this applies, at all times. I know there's a lot of questions floating around with the new administration. And unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of answers, if, what's changing with everything going on right now. What I can tell you is that as Apex Accelerators, we've just been advised to, business as usual. Um, Not much has changed on that front. Government contracting isn't going away. We still have to, spend. So yeah, business as usual.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Kind of getting into some of the federal government's procurement goals. The federal government, according to the Code for Federal Regulations, shall spend 23% with small businesses, 5% for small disadvantaged businesses, 5% for women-owned small businesses, 3% for hub zone, which is location-based, and then the others are based on ownership. And lastly, 3% for service disabled veteran-owned businesses. There has been a lot of just making sure that small disadvantaged and small business in general are aware of different resources. So this includes Apex Accelerators, the Small Business Development Center, and then other resources available to help support them in doing contracting with the government. Kind of continuing on from the previous slide, there are certifications for all of those. So here we see the socioeconomic disadvantaged set-asides and their designated certifications. These are all certifications we as Apex Accelerators can assist you with. So we have the woman-owned small business certification, economically disadvantaged woman-owned small business, veteran-owned small business, service-disabled veteran-owned small business, 8A development program, hub zone, minority-owned small businesses, and disadvantaged business enterprise. The disadvantaged business enterprise, which is for agencies that receive federal funding through the Department of Transportation for projects. So that's the Michigan Department of Transportation, Smart Bus in the Detroit area, Metro Airport, Bishop Airport, and the Gerald R. Ford Airport. A lot of times it's the transportation entities that utilize the DBE certification. Here in Michigan, that is through we have something called a unified certification program. So we can either be certified through MDOT or also the city of Detroit does certification of disadvantaged business. Says, and I believe Metro Airport might still be doing it as well. Um, Based on this
What type
list,
of, I have a
oh,
quick question. So
yep.
the certification with MDOT, what's required for that? The company I work for does some kind of work with transportation.
Um, To be quite frank with you, I have not done that certification process, so I'm not
Mhm.
exactly sure what the qualifications are. But that is
Okay.
something we can definitely I can get together for our meeting after this.
Okay. Yeah, I'd
If
like
we
to
set
find
something
that
up.
out. That would be great if there's what that looks like. Sure, thank you.
Yeah, no problem at all. I'll make note and I'll get that information together.
Awesome.
So one more important note on this slide, based on this list, the first six certifications are administered through the Small Business Administration. The last two are not. Um, and then also of note, the first six through the SBA, it is at no cost to get those certifications. And I believe there is a fee attached to the bottom two. So just important to keep that in mind. All right. So this is kind of a little bit more about the bid match we talked about earlier. I think this is one of the coolest services that we offer. Um, like I said, you would input keywords, phrases, product service information, NAICS codes, product service codes. Um, we can kind of search the criteria, geography, geographically, why can I not say that word right now? You know what I mean.
Ge-
By area,
Geographically,
regions.
I hate when I can't
Yes,
say a
thank
word
you. Yes.
geographically. No problem.
Thank you. Um, by area, region, states, and stuff like that. So yeah, this is definitely a cool tool that you get access to as a client. All right, that pretty much sums up most of this presentation. Here you have some contact information. I will have Stacy share with you my direct email and phone number so we can talk after this. This is kind of like I think this goes to my program director. Um, but yeah, there's a cool little map that shows you the area that we cover. And yeah, we thank you for attending today. It's always nice to see clients, taking advantage of the free services that we provide.